Hello, welcome back to Mastering Top Visualization Techniques in Tableau. In this lecture, we're working through section 4, working on how to build hex bin charts. And I said in the previous lecture that we're going to be learning how to apply data densification to these views. Now, I alluded to the fact that data densification makes it possible for this to adjust automatically, but I didn't really say what we're going to be using that densification for. Now, if you think back to our viola chart that we did in section 3, we used the additional marks that were built on the view to draw the lines in between the categories. What we're going to do with the hex bin chart is actually use the data densified points, 6 of them, to draw the vertices for the hexagon. And then our lines and our graphs will connect these vertices and effectively draw the hexagons for us and make it dynamic. It's a really fantastic application of data densification techniques. Again, credit goes to Alan Eldridge for first pioneering this technique. So, in this case though, we need to decide how we're going to build out our data densification. We could go into Excel, we could copy paste, we could use custom SQL, but in this case, we actually have the ability to use the level of detail calculation. For our hex bins, inside of each hex bin, we're going to have multiple zip codes. And so what we can then do is create our calculation on the hex bins, fixed at the hex bin level, but make the comparison on our zip code. So we're just going to drag these off. We're not going to have much of a view in this lecture, but what we're going to do is we're going to create our toPad. We're going to say if our zip code is equal to, then we're using our fixed again, fixed hex lat and hex long, minimum of zip code, then one else. Now remember I said we're going to be using the data densification to draw the different vertices on your hexagon. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 points. End. Expand this out a little bit so we can have it all in one view. Now remember what this is doing. It's looking to each combination of hex lat and hex long, which is made up underneath of several different zip codes. It's finding the one zip code that has the smallest value associated with those two values, hex lat and hex long. Then for the smallest one, it's assigning it the value of 1. All the other values get a value of 6. This makes it possible to create that dual combination of 1 and 6 that will give us the two ends we need to draw our different points using our data densification. So we now have toPad, 1 to 6. Again, you don't need to bring it to dimensions, I just like to. We'll create our bins based off of it. Padded, size of bins, 1. Drag that out to the top of the view, and we now have our values 1 through 6 through the rangeAware_bin function. So we've now completed our data densification. This is a short lecture. Next lecture, we're going to be building out the angle calculation that these are going to follow, and then our new hex lat, hex long calculations that will be able to comprehend that angle calculation and make it possible for us to draw the individual marks on our view. Look forward to seeing you there, and thanks so much.